Behind me is likely the most important chart in all of crypto, and nobody else on the internet is talking about it because I made this chart and I'm going to show you what it is. There is a bullish and a bearish interpretation of this chart depending on which indicators or signals within Bitcoin price action that you lean on. This video, I'm going to cover the more bullish case or the bullish interpretation of this chart behind me. And then at the end of this video, I will link you to the bearish interpretation. So it's a two-part type of video separated. So let's go get this Bitcoin and check out the bullish interpretation of this most important chart in all of crypto. You ready? This is Bitcoin versus the S&P 500. I've designed this chart so that it exaggerates the effect so you can see quicker changes. For example, the difference between a moving average and an exponential moving average. The exponential moving average, you see the changes faster, right? Because it puts more weight on the more immediate, more recent price action. And this essentially uses the square as well. Essentially exponential type of that. So this is the exponential S&P 500 chart versus Bitcoin. And you can see here that a lot of this bear market going back from, let's see here, at least from this point here, which was May. So since May, Bitcoin has had only very momentary, very short-lived moments of forming an uptrend on the 4-hour chart, right? So I consider the 4-hour chart, if you can get an uptrend, then that is the point in which the low time frames have a better chance of flipping the larger time frames and creating then a serious trend that lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? Okay, so what this chart is saying here is, let's zoom in. So it's been down most of this time, right? And a lot of people saying Bitcoin, it's going to separate from the stock market and all this kind of stuff. Well, most of the separation, zoom out, it's down. Bitcoin is underperforming the stock market by a mile. So let's go to the daily chart, kind of zoom out on this. Most of Bitcoin's life, okay, going way, way, way back, yeah, it's outperformed the stock market for the most of it. But since, let's say, that's about May of this year, it's been straight down, okay? And this is the 69K top. It was down for a while, then it outperformed the stock market for a while, and then it has been underperforming it except the last 36 days or so. That is what we're looking at. So the bullish case is this. And I'm going to jump into some Bitcoin price action here, but just realize let's measure this out. I think it's about 36 days. So about from here, that higher low to now, 35, 36 days. And I have the EMA fill of the 21 exponential moving average with the 55. So flipping green, that means you're roughly in an uptrend, right? It just helps visualize that Bitcoin still, even if Bitcoin were to underperform the stock market for several 4-hour candles or perhaps a day or so, that it still would be generally okay and it could swoop up. Is that making sense? All right. Now, there are plenty of things to be bearish about on the midterm timeframes. However, in general terms, if there is going to be a point in which Bitcoin separates from the stock market, I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm the only person on English-speaking YouTube that has said this, and that has also the following chart that no one else has set up the same, and I'm getting ready to show it to you. When the Nasdaq Futures hits line A, that's the earliest Bitcoin can possibly separate, at least the charts are saying, separate in the up direction from the stock market. So let's go see how close it is to line A, and this is going to be the Nasdaq Futures chart. If you wanted to be able to pull up this chart and honestly make it look like mine, which is probably a good idea, then the ticker you can see right here is NQ1 exclamation and then hit enter. NQ1 exclamation on TradingView, then hit enter and it'll pull it up, and then you can make yours look similar. Oh, my middle line got messed up. TradingView loves to delete my middle line in a range, even though the price, the dang thing is locked. I don't know why TradingView just freaking notoriously does that. All right, let me make sure my origin lines are locked and loaded. Nope, it wasn't locked, so maybe that was my fault. All right, here we go. I've been saying this for quite a while, that the stock market cannot, recover in a macro sense until line A is hit. That's just the way it is. It has been that way, and it likely always will be. Even back here, the dot-com bubble, where did it go? it overshot line A, which is the bright blue one, and went to line B, a little bit below line B. After the stock market essentially crashed, the housing crash in 2008, 2009, and went way below everything. And what did it race up to? Over the time, it raced up right at the Tropic of Cancer, essentially, and then the equator line here. Raced right back up to it. We've gotten too far above. We've created a bear market. Where does it have to go? It's got to touch line A. It's essentially a mean regression, right? And you won't see this. I'm telling you, you're not going to see this chart laid out like this anywhere else. And I make it so simple to see like where it's going. And so this means whatever Jerome Powell does, whatever, wars globally do, I'm not predicting what takes price to line A. For example, I didn't predict Luna crash, right? Which helped bring crypto down a little bit. I simply predicted that any type of stimulus is going to bring Bitcoin, make it fall way below 40K and hit, I think I was thinking 16.4 and came up a little shy, right? And people say, there's no way you can predict Luna crash. No. That's not what I'm predicting. Just any type of stimulus is going to bring it there. So I'm not predicting what brings price there, what economic or monetary policy it is, what wars or whatever. I just know that it's with high levels of confidence, and from a probabilistic standpoint, it's going to hit line A, right? But look at it. It's almost there. It's getting pretty close. So let's measure down here. It's only got 6% left to go, and it can happen in a week. All right. So it's getting very close. And what is Bitcoin doing right as the stock market is getting close to that point? It has formed a pretty serious 4-hour uptrend versus the stock market. So if this 4-hour uptrend can continue, and remember what I said earlier, the 4-hour uptrend is where the lower time frames begin cascading like almost dominoes that can't knock over a heavier domino, right? So you have like the 1 hour, boom, falls, hits at the 2 hour falls, hits the 4 hour falls. And when the 4 hour falls, it hits the daily, but it's not, all those aren't powerful enough to flip the daily, right? For example, but the 4 hours is that threshold. And when sometimes it can flip the daily, and then you get a macro trend forming. So the 4 hour has formed here. And it's formed long enough where it could turn into a macro trend, which would mean Bitcoin could separate from the stock market, and the traditional finance hedge funds and all the folks that are essentially responsible for about 90% of all Bitcoin trading volume, they might flip the switch and not have the algos traded directly with Amazon and the blue chip stocks in Nasdaq and the large stocks in S&P 500, because it's essentially Bitcoin is even though this isn't Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin, the exponential Bitcoin versus the S&P 500 chart. Bitcoin is trading directly with the indices, particularly the S&P 500 index, which is why I have this here. So it's getting, line A is almost hit, while the 4-hour trend of this chart is potentially going to create a macro trend. Therefore, Bitcoin might be setting itself up to finally separate. And it's not just Bitcoin setting up. It might literally be what we're seeing here is that hedge funds know that, hey, we can't continue to trade Bitcoin with what we're doing forever. So it's under 20K, the previous market cycle high. Let's begin letting that go and transition out of it so we can have a new safe haven as the stock market continues going down. And their safe haven might be crypto, and particularly Bitcoin. So, I mean, it's not to say Bitcoin all-time highs, but it's possible that Bitcoin can go back up to its all-time high and oscillate between 30 and 40K, for example, as the stock market continues going down and it hits the line B, which it'll probably hit even lower than line A, because it went too high above line A. And if you want to see that real quick, what that would mean for Nasdaq, I'm going to go to the 2-day chart. Yeah, usually when you go too far above line A and you fall down, you hit line B. That's just the way it works. So Nasdaq will probably get under 9,000. It'll be right at around 9,000 or slightly lower. It might wick past 8,600, 9,000, but 9,000 is about the right mark, 8,900 to 9. Okay, or 8,600 to 9,000 for Nasdaq in Nasdaq futures. Okay, so now what are some things in the Bitcoin price chart that are also representing, I guess the main thought that I'm saying here is that the daily might start flipping into a bullish posturing, right? What is it on the Bitcoin chart that agrees with this? So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart specifically. However, it's most important to know how Bitcoin's relating to all that stuff. Now that we got that squished out. All right, here we go. I'm going to go to the daily chart. I'm going to take that off, and I will use the stochastic RSI here. Stochastic RSI. Maybe. And I will not show you these settings for the stochastic RSI, but we're just gonna, I'm not gonna tell you how I've set this because these are not the standard settings. But in general, take a look at this. This is the daily chart on Bitcoin with a special setting on the stochastic RSI. And had you been watching my live streams, I was dinking around with the charts, and somebody said, is this guy really doing this at midnight, smoking a cigar and messing with the charts? Yeah, I was. But again, I do live streaming charts. You could go ahead and go to my channel. There should be a live stream over the weekend on Sunday, but on Monday through Friday, it's only available to my all Discord community and the Cryptillion YouTube tier. I have two tiers, so you can click the join button below this. That's right by the subscribe button, and then a 90-second video with pirates and skeletons will pop up describing what that is, and links to the Discord are in the description section of all my videos. And Twitter, I post some bomb charts and thoughts on crypto on there. Cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward. All right, so but some people during the live stream saw me do this, got the free information. But all right, so that was a good segue to talk about my other things that I offer the folks who are interested in crypto. So let's take a look. Higher low. I'm focused on higher lows. Okay, so right when this chart creates a higher low, things begin to start happening. They have a habit of creating a macro trend reversal. So let's go ahead and look at when higher lows were formed. I'm not for sure which one it would have been. If it would have been this one. Actually, I'm going to pick this one. So right at this white line. Do you see this white line here? So lows, higher low at the white line. I will make a vertical line right here because it was digging itself out of bearishness, formed a higher low right there. And I will put one right here as well. And this one is a little different. It's not quite at the white line, but this was a higher low here as well. I guess I will include this one. And it was its third higher low. And here's a higher low too. I mean, this was above. So let's just check this out and see what this takes us on the price chart. Let me take off my macro channel. All right, here are a few of these examples. And let's see what it gets us. So this higher low, what happened afterward? A macro trend began to form. It took a little while, probably 200 days or so. So it wasn't the perfect exact time. It would have been better had it happened 200 days later. But this is definitely where this trend ended and this one began forming. There's a little bit of shade of gray here, but you can see the macro trend started going the other way. See that? All right, what happened here? That higher low on that same stochastic RSI setting on the daily chart. Okay, so what the first example was 2015, January of 2015, after the 2013, 2014 bear market, January 2015, the 2016, 2017 bull run, which was freaking glorious. Much more glorious than this last one. All right, like literally 10, maybe not 10 times, but at least 3 or 4 times more glorious. All right, now this one almost nailed it. Higher low, that began the next macro trend. Macro trend was down 2017 top, all of 2018 dead cat bounces, roughly November 14th capitulation, right? Into January of 2019. So this was February of 2019 began a new trend. Here, it didn't really get a macro trend, but it got your next bump up, like a big move up to the 69K top, okay? So it wasn't quite as macro. All right, so what's happening now? The same damn thing. I mean, and so this is in line with line A is almost hit on the Nasdaq Composite Futures, Futures Composite Chart. Nasdaq, Composite Futures Chart. Bitcoin has 36 days forming a 4-hour uptrend, which could then lead to a macro. And this, on the Bitcoin chart itself, is saying this could be a moment, and it actually kind of looks like it, that a new macro trend is getting ready to form. Could it take 200 more days, of sideways with one more dip down? Maybe. That's what happened in late 2014, early 2015. Sure. No, early 2015. But still, are you connecting these dots? Like that's one big thing. Now let's take a look at another. Let's go. I'm going to use some ribbons here. And I'm going to go to the daily chart. Again, I only provide this ribbon information to my VIPs on Discord. But if you take a look, let's take off price. All right. Usually when the rainbow, so take a look at the first bear market. The rainbow skim played. So this is in 2015, 2013, 2014 bear market where it leveled out, right? So around the same pivot point, the rainbow skimmed / touched the blue line. See that? And that was the bottom. That's where it transitioned. And we also saw this with the special stochastic RSI setting, right? Okay, now, and this really is kind of a bottom signal. I don't know if this bottom signal is going to play out, but all right, so another one, it went a little deeper. The rainbow, so let's zoom in. This is 2018. So the capitulation started on November 14th of 2018, went down to $3,200 roughly. All right, so that's what happened here if you want to see. Boom, okay, that was that was still December 2018, and it happened on November 14th. And it went down to $3,200. That's what we're staring at. Okay, take off price. So this time it went a little deeper. So the yellow line, so let's zoom way in here. The yellow line, so half of the rainbow went below here. And in the first one, only the bottom of the green line, because it was flipped bearish. So the bullish EMAs were on bottom, right? But only the bottom of the rainbow touched the blue line. Here, the middle of it touched the blue line. And so it went a little bit deeper the next time around. All right, so now let's take a look at what do you think is happening in this bear market? You think it's just barely skimming it? Or since we're deep in the bear market, do you think it's slightly deeper than this one? The rainbow diving a little bit deeper below. It's yet again a little bit deeper below. And so the last time, okay, so check this out. The first bear market, this line right here skimmed the blue line. And the second bear market, the middle went below the blue line. And here, the red, this is the last one. So top, bottom, middle. First bear market, this one. Second bear market, this one. Maybe the third bear market, it just goes a little bit deeper, and this is going under, and it's going to rock and roll from there. But the thing is, if red, even if price were to come up right now, this red line would still go under and scoop under that blue line right here, because it's pulling the numbers from price way back when, right? So so this is saying price could recover, as in this was the bottom. Price begins to recover now with that other macro signal on the stochastic RSI, and it works its way up, maybe slowly, maybe more quickly than slowly. I'm not for sure, but that would still make the red line scoop under, and then it would take off from there. So from a visual standpoint, okay, let's take this off now. Boom, and zoom out. You can see here on the rainbow, a light skim play on the blue, rainbow a little bit deeper skim play halfway, and then on the third bear market, it's even deeper, hitting the red line, and it's about there right now, which means that was the low. If this signal were to play out, and again, I personally think we're going to go lower, but there is a strong bullish case tied to the Nasdaq Composite Index and tied to the S&P 500, with Bitcoin outperforming it for the last 36 days. So there is some stuff brewing in the charts showing that, whatever is happening on Bitcoin right now, like Bitcoin wouldn't have gone this low had traditional market hedge funds, which again are responsible, that at least the bots are responsible for 90% of not transaction volume necessarily, the trading volume on Bitcoin. right? So they might be at the point where they're like, yeah, let's start tuning down these algos to be, to follow the stock market less and less. And it's below previous market cycle high, and let's transition to turn them off, because we're going to start making money in this market as the stock market goes down. And this might finally be more in the spirit of Satoshi's vision of not being a risk-on asset, rather a safe haven as risk-on assets are diving down, which they are right now in the stock market. Click this video right here if you want to see, in my opinion, the more likely interpretation of this same idea with the stock market being outperformed by Bitcoin. Go ahead and watch this bearish interpretation here, and click this playlist here for the most important crypto videos I've ever made. You just got Tim about Worldwide.